Hello, my friends. This is Chris Gallagher, and this is our You Can Do It class. 2020 has been a changing moment for each and every person, but here we are talking about resetting ourselves, and the fact is that we can do this. It doesn't matter where we need to begin, but you and I can do this. And all of this is going to start by mastering the art of setting our goals and establishing some self-discipline. Now, you have probably had already your year changed. And that's where we're going to begin today. So dive into this class together. This is going to be an 8-lesson class, and we're glad that you're here. So let's jump right in and let's see what we can do. All right, now this one right here, this is just the introduction class. There's going to be 8 more in this, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But let's get right into talking about what we're going to share during our class time together. Let me be the first to remind you that this is a beginner's guide on mastering the art of setting goals and establishing your self-discipline. This can't be my self-discipline, that has to be yours. You're going to have to take ownership of this, but just understand that these subjects, the subject of setting goals and the subject of establishing self-discipline, these two are crucial to developing a proper foundation as you begin traveling what I like to call the road to better living. You're going to start right now with creating a great day today for a better life tomorrow. And you can do it. But this is just your beginner's guide. So we're going to take it pretty simple and just enjoy the ride as we share some things together. All right, now we're going to start off with one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite motivational speakers. Now, if you've never heard of Zig Ziglar before, Zig has since left this life, but one of the things that he said a lot was when you start to set goals, something inside of you starts saying, let's go, and the ceilings start to move up. What happens when you put your goals out in front of you? It gives you the motivation to start. And that's exactly what Mr. Ziegler is saying. So remember this quote as we go through this series together. When you set goals, something inside of you starts saying, let's go, and your ceilings will start to move up. So let's get going on this. You can do this. I know that you can, and let's continue together. All right, now one of the first things that we have to do is we have to get our minds to begin to move. And if you're watching this in the morning, you probably already have your mind that's already in gear. Maybe for you, that's a cup of coffee. I know it's for me, it's several cups of coffee, not because of the caffeine, it's just a part of the routine. But setting goals will start to begin the process. Okay, it's going to be the beginning of the process to get your mind to move forward. And that's really what this class is about, is to get you to move forward. It doesn't matter which goal you have, okay? It could be a short-term goal, which we'll talk about, or it could be a long-term goal. But your mind needs to begin to focus on the future that's ahead of you. So many people live in the past, and we need to start focusing to the future because that is where our success is going to be. Now, here's one of the things that I want you to remember. When we start talking about goals, one of the best ways to keep your goals fortified or actually like a concreted position in your mind is to be able to write down your goals. When you start to write down your goals, things start to change. Just like our Zig Ziglar quote, when you set goals, something inside of you starts to say, let's go, and ceilings start to move up. When you start to write your goals down, they start to solidify. They start to get fortified in your mind. And one of the hardest things to do is to write those down. Because when you write those down, you begin to take responsibility for those. But I also want you to remember that when you share your goals, not only to become responsible, but also you become accountable for the goals that you want to reach. Because not one of us wants to fail in our goals when other people know about them. So we're going to talk about how we can do this and how we can make this part of our goal setting technique for our self-discipline. As we talk about various things in this class, I want you to understand something. Our goals are extremely important. However, you're still going to need discipline to move forward. Discipline is going to be crucial in any success that you're going to have in life, and it's going to be your self-discipline, not the discipline of others, but what you decide to do yourself. Because success, and wherever you are in your life, whatever field or what area of life you may be in right now, requires 5 things. The first one is you need to wait for it. Many people believe in overnight successes. Those overnight successes quickly fade away the next night, or they have the ability to fade away in a very short amount of time. We also must understand that you're going to have to persevere through many difficult challenges and setbacks that you're bound to encounter. There's going to be what I like to call speed bumps along the way, and you're going to have to persevere through those. To be able to do that, you need to put in constant effort. Success is not going to happen the first time that you try. If you remember when you rode a bike, you just didn't hop on it and just immediately take off the training wheels and go. It was the constant effort that you put into it. As a result of that, you're going to need to keep trying. You will need to keep trying. You're going to need to keep trying in several different ways. If it doesn't work one way, maybe you need to make some adjustments and keep going. And number 5, you must keep at it regardless of what you're feeling. There's days you're going to hate it. You're going to hate going through your goals. You're just not going to have the energy. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about how many people are trying to discourage you or whether you feel it's time or not. You need to keep working at it. We need this constant, consistent effort, and that's going to help in your self-discipline. Okay, so let's talk about something real important. What's the problem? If it's this simple, and if we're taking this through a simple series of classes, then what's the big problem? And I'm sure that the problem is actually obvious, but let's mention it anyway. Modern life and modern values aren't exactly friendly towards self-discipline. If discipline was easy, then everybody would be doing it. But instead, people become very distracted from their goals. They become distracted from many things because they don't handle modern life and their values, especially right now, because it's very difficult. Many people are working from home. You're off your schedules. And if this isn't handled properly, this, we'll call it unfriendliness towards discipline, will find its way into many other areas of your life, and there'll be greater speed bumps than you could ever imagine. So that's why we've got to talk about just this little issue, this little speed bump that we're going to encounter. And we're going to move forward, and I hope that you move forward with us. Now, I'm sure that you know this already, but I have a feeling I need to go back and revisit this. Just maybe not for you, but maybe for somebody else. And the reason I say this is because here's the point. Many people look to achieve their goals without any constant effort. It's sort of become an instant society. In fact, if you get on YouTube, you'll see all these ads for all these people who say you can only work 4 hours a week and you can drive this Lamborghini. And as a result, many people want a quick and easy success without taking the proper steps or putting in the hours of hard work. And that's where your self-discipline comes into play. And that's why it's so important that we revisit this again. We re-mention it, if you will, that we've got to continue to move forward, and it's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work. But hey, what's the title of our course? The title of this course is You Can Do It. So let's keep going. I'm sure that one of the things that you've seen, because I know that I've seen it, is what I like to call people's time horizon. And as far as the good things in life go, people's time horizon is very short. And what I mean by that is this. It doesn't seem that people have the time nor the patience that we've had in years past. And I don't know what that is. Maybe as you mature, you see this a little bit differently. But a lot of people do not have the discipline to wait around. They don't have the discipline to work or to even deal with all sorts of adverse conditions. And they don't have the discipline to put in constant work. And this lack of discipline makes it hard to push through the hard times and to keep moving because their time horizon is short. Once again, remember, not everything is going to be an overnight success. And if something is an overnight success, you better be very aware of the fact that it can disappear overnight as well. That's why we need to develop this proper foundation with our goals and discipline together. Okay, so far I've said quite a lot, but here's what I want you to think about right now. Here's where I want you to really pause and think about this. If you want to achieve success, okay, in any area of your life, you need to set up proper goals and you need to pursue those goals. Just setting up goals does not mean you're pursuing them. That simply means that you've put them on paper. We have to execute those. Here's also what I want you to remember. You can hope and wish all you want, but big victories in your life are not going to materialize out of sheer luck. It's going to come through effort. It's going to come through your progress that you make. It's going to come through your actions. Here's the other thing I want you to remember. You must plan. And when you plan, you have to work your plan. These three things, if you remember these and you remember them as you set your goals and as you discipline yourself, will make a great difference. Now, let me share with you something really neat. Now, while self-discipline is very essential, and I've emphasized that so far, I want you to remember that effective goal setting is also very essential. And effective goal setting requires clarity of purpose, the proper structuring of your goals, and the proper measurement of your success. If you're able to do all of those things, if you're able to define your purpose and your goals, to structure your goals properly, and to have a proper measurement of your success, and add to that a proper level of self-discipline, then your success becomes, are you ready for this? Your success becomes a habit. It becomes a habit. You change the way that you look at things, and it becomes a habit. Now, we all have good habits and bad habits, but we want our success to become a good habit. Okay, so let me ask you a couple sort of weird questions, but something at least through your mind. Have you ever spent time with people who make a tremendous amount of money seemingly effortlessly? I mean, it just seems that it just happens to them. I mean, and really, it happens. And you think to yourself, this is kind of crazy. But have you ever spent time with people who declare their big plans and the next time you check with them, their plans worked out? It doesn't matter if it's money. It doesn't matter if they do their plans, but it just seems that everything works out for them. Well, let's understand something. It's not magic. These are not just magical things that just happened overnight. There's a secret to it. The secret is on the next slide. Okay, so now that you move to this slide, let me give you the answer to that. The answer is, believe it or not, it took those people a lot of falls, stumbles. They had to overcome some doubts. They had to overcome some challenges, as well as deal with what would be a potential humiliation to get where they are. They had to deal with speed bumps along the way. That's why it wasn't a magical journey for them. They still had to deal with problems. And while the road may look extremely smooth, while it may look as the road to Easy Street, I can guarantee you it wasn't smoothly paved. I would imagine that if you were to sit and to talk with them and you heard the background of what happens, you would hear the background of work that it took that nobody sees. You would learn of their foundation that they laid that made all of this possible and how they built off of that foundation. This is where you need to be. If you're taking this class and you're going to continue, we're going to be talking about the foundation that you can begin to apply right now to have success in the future. Now, let me give you the good news. The good news is success is a habit that you can learn. Now, you can learn a lot of things, but it's your ability to put these into play, to put these into practice. And your success, by the way, is going to be different than anybody else because it's going to be your success. You've been given and you've been created for a very unique life with a very unique set of skills. So as we think about this, remember, success is a habit that you can learn, but it's practicing that habit that will make a difference. Now, I know what you may be thinking. You may already be thinking that successful people are different than you are, that they look different, they behave different, and they also sound different. And as a result, you don't think you can achieve this. It's a thought and it's a doubt that everybody puts in their minds. You might even be thinking that successful people are really just an entirely different group of people, almost like a different race of people. But remember, do not let appearances fool you. Okay, so you're not going to let appearances fool you because on the surface, these people may seem to be totally different than you are. But understand, they are working because of certain habits, and they're working out of these habits. You do not have to be born with these habits, and you don't have to be lucky. You just need to commit to learning it, not just making the decision to learn, but making the commitment to learn and to apply the knowledge that you have. Listen, you can do this. You can do it. You can make a difference. Okay, so you've made it this far as of right now. So let me share with you something. Where are you ready to go next? If you're ready to go to the next lesson, I want to share with you what you are going to learn exactly in this class. And hopefully, this will be the beginning of the change that you need to make.